Loops are certain features of programming language which allows us to execute a given set of instructions repeatedly until a particular condition is met. So loops are a very powerful feature which is used for iteratively executing a part of a code repeated number of times until our functionality or result is achieved. So let's understand the concept of loops in this video. So hello everyone, welcome back. In this video we are going to understand the three types of loops which are available in our C++ programming language. So before directly going to the concept of loop, we have to understand that every loop of C++ or any other programming language consists of three parts. First is the initialization, then the condition, followed by the step value. These three things are quite important for initializing or executing a loop. Now, what is actually a use case of the loop? Now, suppose I want you to print hello world on the screen, say 5 times. So quite obviously you will say we can use cout 5 times and then we can get our required output. Well enough. But now if I say the same thing that you have to print hello world 500 times, so how will be your approach? A better approach will be to use a loop, because it's pretty difficult to continuously copy and paste cout repeatedly and achieve the functionality, and you may mess up with the things, right? So let us understand how we can achieve this or print hello world many times, 500 times, 1000 times using the concept of loops. So let's go to our code editor and we can understand the concept of loops in a very easy way. So we are in our code editor. We will remove everything which we have done previously, and yeah, so let us define the purpose of this code. In this code we are going to understand about the for loop. Okay, now with the help of for loop we are going to print hello world, say 10 times. So you can say that we can print hello world like this also. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So if you do hello world like this, you can obviously see that hello world is getting printed 10 times, but this is not a convenient way of doing this, because see, same line you are writing, you are doing repetition of work, right? So this repetition can be prevented with the help of loops. One important thing, that if you want to print all this hello world in the next line itself, we can simply use a keyword which is called the endl. So if you use endl, all the hello world will come one after the another in the new line. So we can see that the hello world is getting printed one after the another in new line. So that was not our purpose. So our purpose was to print hello world using for loops. So for doing it, we'll just write this. So for loop starts with the for keyword and a part of the code which is going to be executed repeatedly. Now I have mentioned that every loop in C++ has three parts: the initialization, condition and step value. So for every loop there is a variable which is controlling the behavior of the loop, or which is counting how many times the loop will run. So that variable is called the loop variable, and we have to initialize that loop variable. Suppose my loop variable is I. Now suppose my I will start from value 1. Okay, now how long will my I be running, or my loop run? My loop will run for 10 times, because I want to print hello world 10 times. So I will write I less than equal to 10. Okay, now the increment or the decrement. So how my I will increment? My I will increment every time by 1. So I will write I equal to I plus 1. Okay, so this is the body of the for loop. So this for loop will run for 10 times, and everything inside this block of code will get executed 10 times. Now many professional programmers will not write I equal to I plus 1, they simply write I plus plus, but they mean the same actually. This is called the post increment. You will learn this slowly as you dive more deep into the prospects of C++. So let's come back. So I have written I equal to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. So this is the for loop, this is the initialization part, this is the condition part which is controlling how long the loop will run, and this is the I plus plus which is incrementing the counter value. Okay, now we want to print hello world. We will simply write cout hello world, and then enter. Yeah, so that's it. If you run this code, we can see that hello world will get printed 10 times, one after the other. So this way we can achieve a pretty same functionality using the for loop. So if you now change this 10 to 100, we can see that hello world will be getting printed 100 times. So yeah, that's a mess, I understand. So that's it about the for loop, which is allowing us to iterate over the same statement multiple times based upon the condition. So this was about the for loop. So this is about the for loop. Now we'll come across the next loop, which is the while loop. Okay, so while loop. Now while loop also has three parts, in which there is initialization, condition, and step value. So the initialization of the while loop happens outside the loop. So let's initialize the counter variable as I, and the initial value of it will be 1. Okay, now what will be the condition up to how long the loop will run? The loop will run if the I value is less than or equal to 10. So as long as my I value is less than or equal to 10, the loop will continue getting executed. And how will my I increment? The I will increment by 1. So I will write I plus plus. Similarly, you can also write I equal to I plus 1. That's up to you. So when you write cout hello world over here, we can see and run this, we can see that hello world will get printed 10 times. So yeah, I forgot to write the endl, so let's write it. Yeah, now when you run this, we can see that hello world will get printed 10 times, as we have achieved the same functionality using for loop. So this was about the while loop. Now what is the difference between the for loop and the while loop? Now there is no actually specific difference. It depends upon the use case and your need, which you are. If you are more comfortable with the for loop, you can use for loop. If you are more comfortable with the while loop, you can use while loop. But there is also another type of loop, which is the do while loop, which is a bit interesting one. Let's understand what is do while loop. So do while loop follows the following syntax. We'll write do, and after the brace we will write while semicolon, and here we will write the condition. So for my do while loop, my counter variable will also be declared outside. My I will increment by 1, and at last we will check the condition that if my I is less than equal to 10, then we will print or reiterate. So we will write cout hello world. Right, so if you run this, let me put enter. So if you run this, we can see that hello world will get printed 10 times on the screen, and that's what we are expecting. But here, if you change this I value to 11, now since this condition becomes false, as expected, we are not supposed to get any output on the screen. But here is the catch. Here we will get hello world printed one time at least. If you can see, my hello world get printed at least once. Why? Because in the while loop and the for loop, the condition is checked first, then the loop will get executed. But here in the do while loop, first the loop will get executed at least once, then the condition will be checked, and then if the condition is true, the loop will reiterate, and if the condition is false, the loop will get executed at least once. So this was the differences between the do while loop, and the for loop. So in other words, the do while loop is called the exit control loop, where the loop will execute or not depends upon how the loop is exiting, and the for loop and the while loop are example of entry control loop. So this was about the loops in C++, which allows us to achieve a same functionality or execute multiple statements multiple number of times depending upon the condition. So this was about loops, and you can play around with loops by practicing patterns, printing various patterns on the screen, where you can place multiple loops inside loops, means nesting of loops, and achieve the pattern diagrams. So that's it in this video. I will see you in the next video with the concept of functions. Till then, keep learning and keep exploring. I will catch you in the next video.